Hello! I am so thrilled to see so many of you out here standing with young women who've inspired me to be here. So hello to everybody, and I want to start by saying, again, how proud I am. This is an historic day in our nation's capital, on the steps of the Supreme Court. Who knew it would take this? But here we are. We are amongst such incredible people, mainly women who have chosen to stand up, speak up, and defend not just themselves and their teammates, but everybody, defend their rights for all women and girls. So over the last few days, I think a lot of us have sat down, thought about how the heck we got here, trying to figure out where the craziness began. When did this country take such a dark turn? How did we decide that allowing men in women's sports and spaces is okay? That allowing men's feelings to be prioritized over yours, over women's, is okay? That flat out ignoring science isn't only okay, but it's expected. It's encouraged. All in the name of what? Inclusivity and tolerance. I'm going to give you a little background real quick, but for me, this confusion over the debate began in 2016. I was working at ESPN then. I was the lead host of the network's NBA coverage and got word that the NBA was considering moving the NBA All-Star game. Every year they have that. They're going to move it out of Charlotte in the spring of 2017 because of what they called the bathroom bill in North Carolina. Do you remember that bill? Basically, that bill said that, well, it banned men who identified as women from using women's restrooms. What a concept, keeping men out of women's restrooms. Makes sense, right? I mean, at first, I actually didn't believe that this was a thing, that the NBA would threaten to move a basketball game over this. That's drastic. But when it didn't quiet down, I asked an NBA executive about it, and much to my chagrin, he confirmed that they were probably going to do it. When I asked his opinion about it, he looked at me and then he looked down. He couldn't look me in the eye because he knew. He acknowledged it was crazy, shrugged his shoulders in a what am I supposed to do gesture. And I was livid because he knew it was wrong too. He had the power to go to the league offices and say no, but he didn't. They pulled the game out of North Carolina. That hurt the economy of the city. That hurts a lot of people, all in the name of inclusion. Meantime, what did I do? I stayed quiet. I reminded myself that my employer, ESPN, was in business with the NBA, paying the league more than $1 billion a year. So I chickened out, and I stayed quiet and silent in order to keep the peace and in order to keep my job. That was the wrong thing. Fast forward 6 years, fall of 2022. That's when I first heard the name Lia Thomas. So as a journalist, I began reading more about the situation, the world of women's swimming, and I was floored. And at that time, my employer, ESPN, had really done no stories on it about this swimmer who was allowed to compete against women, to beat women. They hadn't done anything on TV. I asked producers. They seemed pretty content with their coverage. But finally, a young woman by the name of Riley Gaines spoke up, and that changed everything. Finally, ESPN had to cover the story, and did they ever? As part of their annual Women's History Month celebration, ESPN decided to celebrate Lia Thomas as one of their best female athletes, a man. This is important, though. I will never forget sitting next to one of my co-hosts on SportsCenter who was asked to voice over the piece of Lia Thomas. This co-host is a woman, a strong woman, a pioneer in our industry, a woman who willingly contributed to the celebration of a man beating women in swimming. And for me, that was my turning point. I realized I'm complicit if I stay silent. So what do? We get more active. We talk to our neighbors. We go on social media. I started liking more posts that were denouncing men coming into our sports, adding comments here and there. It was made very clear to me, though, by my bosses that they did not appreciate me supporting women and protecting women's spaces. I received an email stating that I needed to stop or else. So I immediately did what? This time, I sent out another tweet saying, hell yeah, I'm supporting women in sports and protecting our spaces. I must say, though, and this is what we must remember, it wasn't just my bosses, it wasn't just ESPN who was choosing men over women. I know I am not alone here in expressing frustration and disappointment in both male and female athletes, especially those with big platforms who did what? Chose to stay silent about an issue that affects them, their daughters, their granddaughters. In private conversations, they would tell me they knew, but they were afraid to speak up. They'd rather stay out of it. But you know who didn't stay out of it? You know who didn't stay quiet? Riley Gaines and Peyton McNabb and Paula Scanlon and Chelsea Mitchell and Mary-Kate Marshall and Madison Kenyon and Lainey Armstead and Sia Lili and Caitlin Wheeler and so many incredible young women across this country who've done what? They've taught the old people. They've taught me, a woman twice their age, what courage truly is. To not allow fear to lead. See, we know this. We know the facts. There are many issues that are debatable, many issues in which our opinions can change the result. But when it comes to the facts, the truth, the science behind whether we are men or women, there is zero debate. You can try all you want. Millions have, but funny how so many demand follow the science for certain things, right? But not for the most obvious of them all. No matter what anyone says, anyone believes, no matter what anyone feels, nothing changes the facts that God made men and women different, beautifully different. If not me, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? This moment, this season, this challenge is ours, such a time as this. I will leave you now with this. As a young girl, my father, who's the reason why I wanted to grow up to be a girl sportscaster. He supported me, and he made me and my brothers memorize part of the cadet prayer at his alma mater, West Point, United States Military Academy. Here is the part I need you to take with you. Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with a half-truth when the whole truth can be won. All of you are doing just that. You have already chosen the harder right, and you've kicked the easier wrong to the curb. You were not content with a half-truth. You made sure the whole truth was being won, and it's happening right here before our eyes today. May we all continue to be inspired by these brave souls, these kids who have stood up when the adults in the room chose not to. We need to be inspired by what they've done, to stand up, to speak up, to defend themselves and others. They are changing the world forever, and we are going to stand right by their side this entire time. I am so grateful to you and for your voices. We can no longer live in fear. I felt it. I did too. No more such a time as this. What a blessing we are here today, and we are fighting. Thank you for having me so much. This is such a blessing. And this is just the beginning. I'm just the appetizer. We have even more incredible women. Most importantly, the athletes who are the reason why this fight is going and why we are going to win. I'm excited for you to hear their stories. Enjoy, and thank you for fighting for women and girls.